Welcome to Kick Up the Sass. No fluff, no faffing, just some real talk coaching. I'm Alice, your coach, and each week I unpack what's happening in my client check-in forms, including mindset struggles, nutrition and workout tweaks, blockers, wins, so you walk away stronger, sexier, and more badass than you were when you started. Hello, check-in form feedback. Amazing, just some amazing wins coming through. I do find it funny because I put a question down at the top saying, how aligned did you feel with your goals this week? And so many of you are giving yourself like 2 and then telling me, oh, I've eaten really well, I've done however many workouts. Oh, my mic's on. Okay. I don't know if you could have heard me then. Okay. Hopefully you heard the beginning bit. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if giving yourself a 2 when you've been doing 2 to 3 workouts a week and eating pretty well is fair on yourselves. So let's stop being so humble and do a bit of bragging, please, ladies. But let's get into the questions and the struggles. So first one I'm going to talk about is feeling disappointed after a quote unquote cheat day. So I think this is a bit of a mindset change that needs to happen. I don't like the word cheat day because you're not really cheating on anything. And I think when you're telling yourself that you're not conforming to your diet or you're you're quote unquote cheating, it just sets like a negative precedent up, which is why you feel disappointed. You feel guilty because you've told yourself you've done something bad. But going out for like dinner with friends or eating someone else's home cooked food, having a few wines, having some pudding, you've not killed anybody, you've not punched anyone in the face, you've not done anything bad, you've not done anything wrong, you've not done anything to feel guilty for. So we just need to flip the narrative a little bit so that you're not telling yourself that you've gone off the wagon. I think the easiest way to begin with is to kind of on the run up to the event do all your workouts and eat as well as you can, and then just tell yourself like, okay, we're going out for dinner, but I can still eat my normal breakfast, my normal lunch, go out for dinner, I'm going to choose a high protein option, I'm going to enjoy myself, I'm here for socializing. Food is also like a love language, so not everything we eat has to just be for fuel. We can also just eat for enjoyment, and then just draw a line and move on. Don't think too deeply about it. You've not done anything to feel bad about. And I know it's hard when you're trying to stay on track and you wanting to, create this really healthy lifestyle and look smoking hot. But you're in it for the long game, and you didn't suddenly get super healthy and fit by having one quote unquote healthy meal. So you're not going to undo weeks of work by having one day where you just have eaten whatever random stuff you've eaten. And that's another good way of looking at it, like how long over time it took you to get to the point where you're like, oh, actually now I need to sort this out a little bit. It's the same for like coming out the other side. Like you're going to be doing it for such a long period of time that it's a drop in the ocean when you have a day off or even a week off. Like even if you have 4 weeks of the year, if you want like a tangible example, 4 weeks of the year where you're just kind of doing what you want, that's 48 weeks of consistently eating really well. It is still a drop in the ocean. It's a tiny amount of your time. So try and think about it in comparatively to the rest of the time that you're quote unquote on track. And I hope you enjoyed your weekend away and your Saturday of eating whatever you were eating. Just to add to that quickly, I do think feelings of guilt happen more when we slip into eating for the sake of it or eating because the food's there and not and realizing we're not enjoying it, or realizing afterwards I didn't really want that. And that just takes practice. So practicing, like asking yourself before you start eating it, do I want that? Do I love that? Do I need that? Can help a lot as well. Okay, then being unwell and being concerned about losing momentum because you can't necessarily exercise as much as you wanting to. I think when you're poorly, there's a couple of ways to look at this. You kind of do need to rest, and if you don't rest, you are going to make yourself worse or take longer to get better. So having a little bit of time for your body to get itself better is super important. And also, you're not going to lose that much momentum by having like 2 days off, but you could end up more poorly. You could end up poorly for a longer period if you don't rest, which is just going to like make it more frustrating for a longer time. So try and look after yourself. Focus on what you can control. So if you still feel like you can go for fresh air, get some walks in, you can still eat really well. Focus on those things and just accept that your body needs to heal. If you do feel like you can do some workouts, just lower the weight, maybe only do half a workout, like 4 exercises. And lower the weights that you're using. Don't push yourself as much as you were doing before. Don't push yourself to like your last rep. Just work at like 60 or 70%. And that's like when you're coming out of being poorly as well. It's good to like build back up that way. Okay, with the losing momentum point as well, just to reiterate, like if you still stay active in terms of walking, yoga, and eat well, then you shouldn't lose that much momentum. And it's really miserable forcing yourself to do a workout when you are poorly. It's horrible. We don't want you to hate it. And I know we're not going to love every workout, but we also don't want to be actually hating it, because that will stop you from doing it at all. So have the little break. It might be a few days, it might be a week, whatever, and come back refreshed. Okay, stay on the exercise theme. And I should have grouped another food question up with the cheat day, but never mind. All right, exercise. Post-baby core exercises. So all of the core exercises that I program in the workouts are suitable for post-baby. If you are struggling with any, then let me know. If they're to progress, there should be regressions next to each one. So, for example, leg raises, do a single leg raise. If lying leg raise, if both legs is too hard, do single legs. All core exercises are fine. There's no one in the group who is like 6 weeks postpartum and needs very gentle, deep core exercises. You're all far enough for postpartum and you've been exercising for long enough that all of the exercises will help you, all the core ones. So crack on, do them all. If you want to add a little bit of extra deep core, then something like bird dogs. They're bugs, but I'm pretty sure they're in one of the core workouts and in some of the main workouts. Payloft press is a really good one. We do have that in one of the gym workouts. That's great for deep core. So yeah, I honestly would just crack on with all of the core ones. Motivation struggles when things spiral a little bit. A little bit more detail needed. I don't know how much spiraling is a little bit of spiraling. I'm gonna assume maybe like a weekend or a long weekend. That was me this weekend. And I just drew a line, moved on, had my normal breakfast, did some exercise, and just had a fantastic time away in the Peak District. If you're not as disciplined, then I think using the group for accountability, telling the ladies, right, girls, I want you to hold me to account. I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow, tonight, whatever. I'll tell you when I've done it, or I'm going to post a selfie when I've done it, because then you're probably going to do it, because otherwise the girls are going to be like, did you go? And you'll be like, oh shit. And you'll feel worse for them than for yourself, which is really weird, but that is the human psychology. We seem to feel more accountable to other people than ourselves, which is fine. At least we're self-aware. So yeah, using accountability to motivate you will really help. Also, easing yourself in with like a home workout, setting the expectation quite low. So being like, right, I'm just gonna start a workout and I'm gonna do 20 minutes. So I'm looking at my clock now, it's 1:10. Right, I'm gonna exercise until 1:30. Because what will happen is once you've started, you'll probably just carry on anyway. And that actually leads on to another question I had, which was about one of the ladies who's struggling with the overwhelm of starting a workout because it looks like a lot. So I would give the same advice to you. Get dressed in your gym clothes at the beginning of the day, or at a point in the day before you get too tired. So if you know you're going to be doing the workout when the kids are in bed, get into your gym clothes at like tea time before you put them to bed, so that as soon as they're in bed, you're ready to go. And just give yourself a time. Say, right, I'm going to do 30 minutes. See how far you get. Just see what happens. Like, I'd rather you missed off 2 or 3 2 or 3 exercises than didn't do 5 exercises because you couldn't face doing 7 exercises. Do you know what I mean? Like, just I'm going to do 20 minutes, I'm going to do 30 minutes, and then you're probably going to end up just doing it all anyway because you'll feel really good and it'll give you energy. But just telling yourself that you're going to do that smaller amount will really help. However, I am changing the workouts up for next week. So from Monday, you'll have a new block of exercises, and I'm going to include some shorter ones just to help with that feeling of overwhelm. Okay. Should I, this is the question, up my weights, increase my weights and decrease my reps? I feel like other people are lifting a lot heavier than I am and my weights are teeny tiny. Some of the girls in the group are quite experienced, and by experience I mean they've been doing powerful since last September and also doing like PTing and things. So try not to compare yourself to others, although I know it's really hard, and I do the same at rugby. So it's not the best advice because I'm very prone to that. But just be aware. I think it's fine to compare yourself as long as you're aware of where other people are. So like I compare myself to our rugby captain, our team captain, who's played rugby for years and years and years. But I don't compare herself in a way where I'm like, oh, she's so much better than me. I see her as like aspirational, like, oh my God, she is a machine. I want to be that good. And I use the comparison as a way to drive myself to get better at rugby and to get faster and get fitter. So if you can do that with this, if you can say, oh God, she's squatting 60 kilos. I want to squat 60 kilos. That's amazing. I'm going to make sure I do all my workouts and I work on increasing my weight so I can get there. That's a much different mindset to like, oh, she's really strong and I'm really weak. And like having a bit of a pity party about it. So compare yourself in a positive way is all I'm saying. Like, if you do feel like you're comparing yourself and feeling bad about it, then come and chat to me separately, because I don't want anyone to feel like that. I want everyone to feel like inspired by what other people are doing and have it as a driver and a motivation. But it's a really good question about should you increase your weight and decrease your rep? And I'm going to say, yeah, the fact you've asked this question tells me that you know the answer to this question. Yeah. Let's aim, if you're doing like 12, 16 reps, just get that weight up. As soon as you're hitting like 8 or 10 reps, like you can start increasing your weight. It's also quicker, like it's way more efficient to do 8 reps than 16 reps. With the home workouts, I do have the rep range really big purely because you've got a limited weight you can go up to. So if your dumbbells only go up to 20 kilos, I know that a lot of people will be able to deadlift 220-kilo dumbbells quite quickly, like in a few months after they've started. So the reps have to be high to compensate for that, because otherwise you're not fatiguing the muscle enough. If I say, yeah, just do 6 reps, but you could have done 16 reps, then I'm not saying it's pointless, but you're not getting as much bang for your buck. We want to not be able to do another rep to tell your muscle, oh, next time I do that, I need to be bigger and stronger. Muscle goes away, repairs, comes back bigger and stronger, ready for next time that you smash it with the 20-kilo dumbbells for however many reps. So yeah, in short, yes, up your weights, decrease your reps, get some PBs, you'll feel bloody great. Okay, last one about workouts. It's funny, isn't it? Because like some weeks I just have a load of food questions, and other weeks I have a load of exercise questions. I really find it interesting that the pendulum just swings that much, like to and from food and weights and exercise. Right. Balancing running. So this girl's just done a half marathon. Balancing running and gym. She enjoys running, is trying to fit back in the strength workouts between runs. I think there's a bit of prioritization needed for this. So do you want to, while you're building back up and getting back into the routine of doing like 3 runs a week and 3 workouts a week, if you're only managing to exercise 4 times a week, and let's just put it all under the exercise umbrella, if you don't have a priority, then I would say do 2 runs and 2 gym workouts. If it's your workouts you want to prioritize because you haven't got a race coming up, then do 1 run and 3 workouts, and then build up to adding another run in. Could you decrease your running length and go for speed? Could you run to the gym? Or if let's go even like smaller, you're only managing 3 exercise sessions a week, I would definitely suggest running to the gym in that case. And you could do like 1 longer run to the gym, and 2 gym workouts. Just have a think about where your priority mainly lies, and if it is a split, then split it. Obviously it's going to probably get less enjoyable to run as it gets darker and colder. So if you want to stockpile some runs in before that happens, you might want to do like 2 runs and 2 workouts, and also run to the gym. I think you need to sit down and just like chat to yourself, and if you want to message me with a suggestion of how to split your week based on your priorities. But that's how I would do it. I would just see what I want to improve on. So for example, with me, with rugby, I am very equal in my priorities. I want to be better at rugby, but I also want to be really strong, but they go hand in hand. And you know, from your running training, if you've got strong legs, it's easier to run. I know if I'm strong, my rugby is going to be better. So I'm prioritizing 3 strength training sessions a week, plus at least 2 rugby sessions, 3 if I can. And that's like my non-negotiable. Like rugby training on a Wednesday is my non-negotiable. The extra fitness session is a non-negotiable, and my 3 strength training sessions are pretty much a non-negotiable. I did only do 2 last week because we went away, but in general, that's how I'm doing it for my personal balancing act. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of like ideas of how to figure it out yourself. You don't need to go all in with 3 runs and 3 workouts. Just build it up over the next few weeks, and then like by November you just be like, right, I just want to be in a good routine by November. Add 1 more thing over the next 3 weeks. Add 1 more thing in. You know what? I'm just gonna actually look now to see what you did last week so that I can. Sorry, I should have done this before this started. Chat amongst yourselves. Let me find you. Here's a really good question. Okay, let's see what you did last week, and then I can kind of tell you what to build on. All right, you did a Monday run, a Wednesday workout, a Thursday run, and then missed a workout and a run. So, yeah, looks like you're kind of aiming for 4 to 5 exercise sessions. I think, yeah, you do. Well, I mean, you did 2 work. Oh, you did 1 workout and 2 runs. So this week, aim for 2 workouts and 2 runs, and have that. And then the next week, either do that again or aim for 3 workouts and 2 runs, or 3 runs and 2 workouts, depending on which way you want to sway it. And just build from last week. I think that's the best advice I could give you. Okay, next one. Oh, last one. Clear whey protein. I'll actually drop this in the group chat as well. So yeah, clear whey protein. I've just bought a bulk one recently just because I got some new protein powder from Bulk. It's fine. They can be a bit tart, the clear wheys. So one of the girls in Summit, one of the girls in Powerful, she went to America and she took with her like a selection box type thing of clear whey. Because Milky Way in Florida just felt a bit weird. So she took some clear ones. I think it was a box of 12 different flavors that she got, and she took with her like individual sachets. You could get a box like that and do taste testing. Drop in the group. I'll drop in the group with a couple of options for clear whey, and also ask that the girl to share her faves. And yeah, I think just get like a fruity one. Some of the flavors are a bit weird. I tend to go for like a raspberry or something, or like a blackcurrant. Yeah, like a raspberry, so it's just like fresh. But it doesn't really matter what brand. My Protein do it, and it's cheap and cheerful. You don't really need to get any like fancy ones. They're all pretty similar. So yeah, jump on My Protein. Ask the girl. Quite a few of the girls have clear protein, so ask them for their favorite flavors. Yeah, that's it. But I will put a message in about that. Okay, thank you for the amazing check-in forms. It's amazing for me to be able to help you. So yeah, make sure you fill them in every Sunday, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. And that's your weekly Kick Up the Sass. Now go and take action. Stay strong, stay sexy. And if you've not already, scan your QR code and come and say hi to me on Instagram. I love hearing from you. See you next time.